Hello everyone. This is the segment immediately following up from Naboris. I did some stuff around Gerudo Town, then launched over to the Sandsill Race and got the Radiant Shield in the Shrine, and then right after that warped to Great Plateau Tower. So let's get started. So the first order of business is going to be getting to Kakariko as quickly as possible. I'm going to drag this box over here and trying to line it up roughly so that the middle of this, it's a little off center here, but trying to make this line up pretty much between these two peaks here. So this still gave me a pretty good angle. I'm actually going to take another look at that really quick. So maybe lining it up more to the one on the left would be a little bit better. But anyway, just doing a stasis bounce here. There's a particular spot on the cliff where it has a good slope to send you upwards. I'm going to mark it right now. So a little bit to the right of it, but this whole area here, you get just enough height to get up to this little slope here, and bouncing off of it sends you way upward. Okay, so trying to line up with the hills right here. I tried doing a turn wind bomb here, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get enough height if I do that, so looking towards wetlands, trying to get lag. I didn't get it there, but I have gotten it before, so I know that it is possible. If I do go this far left, I might still be able to get a turn, so it's something I'll have to play around with. Now that I know where to hit on the hill to get launched upward, it should be a lot easier to do multiple attempts of this. So going into Kakariko, I'm going to go through this because this is all what you'd expect. Just talking to Impa. Talk to her twice. And then for all of these options, just selecting the other ones so she doesn't explain like about the Divine Beast or about Hateno. Okay. Leaving out of here. Climbing up on the railing. And aiming... I think I need to aim a little bit further to the left. I don't really have a solid visual cue for this, but like somewhere around this area. Yeah, I just need to aim a little bit further to the left, so I ran right in front of the pedestal here. Going forward. Okay, so I kind of spawned the circle a little bit earlier there than I thought I did, but spawning circle, square, then waiting until just a little over a quarter. Bounce off the ceiling, able to get over the fight trigger that way. When I shield jump here, right before I land, swapping to the pot lid, and then ESC, I'm gonna climb up here first. And then after I climb up here, I'm going to jump before I do a shield surf. This will let me get rid of skew, because if the shield breaks when I land and have skew, it'll just give me skew in the other direction, and it'll mess up the other stasis bounce I'm about to do. So, yeah. Jump up here, jump shield surf, and that'll get rid of skew and ragdoll. Okay. Oh, and another thing, before I finish the shrine, I should swap to Amiibo Rune so I don't have to do it there. Preferably do it while I'm in the ragdoll animation. Okay, so as far as lining this up, it still seems somewhat random what direction I get sent. I still don't have a good cue for it. But trying to put the center right next to the right side of the pedestal, going in between the opening there, seems like it's the one that seems like it works best, at least from the limited number of times I've done this stasis bounce. So banking off the shrine, this one actually got me a lot of height. I could get a faster one, but this one also let me clear some of the mountains. I'm not really sure which. I'll pretty much take whichever I get here, because this stasis bounce can be really finicky. But I do have some older ones that were faster, so I'll take a look at that side by side and see if this was faster or if the one that's lower was faster. So yeah, this one pretty nice, letting me just glide over all of the mountains here. Did send me a little too far to the left, so I had to start holding extreme right here, losing me a little bit speed before I make it to the tree. Picking up the Korok, aiming right to the left of these two trees is the visual cue I was using for this. I did want to do a turn here, but this branch just kind of like, it launches you right into it, so you need a high wind bomb. I'm not sure if I may be able to get something low enough to go under it. So if you have any suggestions for that, I can try it out. But for this one, I just went with a high wind bomb. Dropping down, grabbing this Korok leaf. Equipping it. Going over here to start this quest. Both of the text options for this one are the same. That is one here that I have checked for sure. For this wind bomb, lining up the reticle right over the furnace here. Just lining it up like this. And then when I jump forward, I delay spawning the square just a little bit. So like a sixth of the stamina wheel. And that's just to send me a little bit further to the right than it would otherwise.
Rivali's gale is now ready.
This will give me... I didn't land right on the Korok. I ended up having to climb up here, but the rest of the segment was pretty good.
Rivali's gale is now ready.
Let's drop down. While I'm... Wait, when did I equip square? Did I do it right after I win bomb? Yeah, there's usually a world load here, so equipping square, like, right around this point would probably be ideal. So drop down, square bomb, hold weapon out. Took me a few attempts to do it then. But the reason I do this here, which I don't think it would make a major difference either way, but dropping down out of the tree and doing it here instead of doing it near the furnace gives the square bomb time to refresh for the wind bomb. So swap to circle, stand on this rock, and just to pretty much just where I scoped then, right to the right side of this rock here. Okay, and lining up this one. Again, this is pretty much ideal as far as lining it up. Let me jump back just a little bit. So yeah, lining it up with this part of the cliff here, just trying to get enough height, or yeah, trying to aim mostly cardinal because it's going to send me pretty far to the right. Yeah, that still sent me pretty far to the right there, so maybe aim even further left, but at least in this case it didn't really matter because I had to wait on the furnace to load in anyway.
Rivali's gale is now ready.
As I open the door, I need to heal 1 heart. So opening the menu, eating 1 of my peppers, and then swapping to circle bomb. And aiming just to the left of the cliff that Naboris is on here. I think there may be a better visual cue for this, but that's what I was aiming for with this. Then turning to the left. No, this angle was pretty good. I could have gone for a super here, but with the world loads, I don't really think it would make a difference. I can test it to be sure, but there's just so many world loads with Hateno that I think going faster would just make the world loads longer. So right now it's 8:40. Bolson and the rest of the crew go to bed at 9 p.m. So, and you'll also notice here that the goddess statue isn't loaded in. So this seems like the ideal place to change it to morning. This does take a little bit longer. I think this is usually 9 seconds, and this is 14, presumably because of all the stuff loading in. But since I would have to wait on the goddess statue to load in anyway, this seems like the most appropriate place to change it to morning. Okay, so jumping up on the up on the side of this building here, lining up the reticle pretty much just to the right of the ceiling on this building. Turning to the right. I may need to aim a little bit more to the left. Okay, so for this segment, I actually had to splice this in after I finished the shrine. When I do the launch before going in here, I do need to swap to square bomb. So while I'm on the way to this shrine, I come in here. Square bomb. This one is a little bit lower than what I needed, but it gets the point across. And then I'm also going to do a turn. I'm going to turn the camera with gyro over towards this direction. Do another square first wind bomb. This is just so I can get a little less height. Because circle first is going to go way too high here. Okay, so making another speed food. And then going over here to talk to Bolson. Starting this quest. And as soon as I do that, I swap back to the Claymore. Considering the world loads before going to when dropping down to the goddess statue, it would probably be better for me to just swap to the sword during all of that, just to make the world loads a little more manageable. So chopping down this tree, collecting all the apples, and normally I would climb up on the stump. The way this tree fell was kind of weird, so I just climbed on top of it to do this wind bomb. Doing turn, dropping down, and getting this this Korok here. Moving the camera back, doing a mid-air here. And this sent me, let's see. My visual cue for this was to aim at this this mushroom. I aimed a little bit to the left of it here, so my launch got sent a little bit to the left, more than I would like. Okay, so this is nearing the end. I'm gonna click through all of this, but this will show, this is obviously the heart duping section. So giving all of these to the statue, saving, taking them back. And there's a wind bomb I know you can do here, just off this rock to the left. I haven't practiced it a lot, but I'll give it some attempts and see how it works out. Because I know it can be a couple seconds faster. I'm just concerned about, like, having to do this all in one take and, like, flowing the menuing back and forth between camera and bombs. I'm going to do something a little bit different than I did here. I gave the statue 6 essences, and I did a comparison between 6 and 8 was about 10 seconds faster. So the pattern here is going to be a little bit different. But giving it the essences, saving, and then going through this process. I'm just going to quickly go through all of this because it's like 9.5 minutes of just upgrading. Okay. So everything upgraded now. Finished talking to the statue. And as soon as you back out of the text box, just save, reload. This will get rid of the glitch paraglider. Turn around, aim towards this tree. Trying to aim the reticle like right here, this part. Hold up a second. Okay. Landing over here. And then that's pretty much all the movement, so finishing the quest up here and then talking to Hudson. Sending him off to build Terrytown. And then talking to Bolson again. And then this is when I will do all the house upgrades. So just quickly go through all of this. This takes only about 20 seconds of in-game time. Something like that. It's pretty minor. Not 20, probably more like 40, because I think I'm getting close to the end here. Let me check. And it only takes that much because you have to wait for him to sit down every time. So yeah, one more upgrade after this. So yeah, about 42 seconds of in-game time, so it's another thing that's like 8 minutes long, but it's just a bunch of text boxes. So first thing we're going to do after the house upgrades, we're going to run up this hill. There's a fairly long flower chase Korok here. So this first part, just trying to keep the lines as straight as I can. After the third flower here, aiming to go up this part of the wall. Hold up just a second. Right here. And go this way, so kind of curving it a little bit. This is just because this part of the wall is really steep and it's really easy to grab onto it. So these other two flowers aren't really difficult. This one's fine. This is the only one where I have to do something slightly different. So I noticed that if I go up this way and then go to the right here, Link will do like a quick climb up the wall. It's really easy to grab onto this area too, so this seems to be the best way to approach it. And go back just a little bit. So this is something you'll see commonly when I start getting more Koroks throughout these branches. So for this one, I just got it straight on right here. But when I record the final, what I'm aiming to do is when I touch this flower, I want to jump and land roughly right here. That's going to set up my angle for the wind bomb that I need next time, so I don't have to do any throw aiming or scoping or anything like that. So my angle should look something like this whenever I get out of the Korok cutscene. This way I can just walk forward immediately and do the wind bomb I need. Just landing up here. Just trying to drop down as quickly as possible so I can start scanning for the amiibo more quickly. Swap to Magnesis and trying to line up the box roughly just to the left of this tree here. This is going to, the way I've got it set up here, it's going to bounce off of the sloped ground in front of it and give me just a little bit of height. Maybe more than just a little bit, but yeah. So just skipping on ahead, just gliding over this whole section here. And we're going to be landing right at this Korok. I tried getting a little more height off the stasis mount so I don't have to run up to it, but I feel like it sacrifices a lot of speed to get more height. So I'll play around with it more, but it takes like, what, 2 seconds to run up here? Alright, closer to 3, but yeah. So immediately after this Korok, going to this little spike on the hill right here. This gives me just enough height, this right here, to give me bullet time for a wind bomb. And I should have swapped to square first. I had to swap afterwards, but after landing I swapped to circle when I should have swapped to square. So fixing that here. Aiming right along the right side of the waterfall. And then trying to get a low angle here, which this one was pretty good. I got a really good low angle, so I just barely had to open glider. That was pretty quick as far as getting the magnesis block in there, but I should have landed a little more over this way. If I land over there, that'll put me right next to the ledge, so I can just wind bomb. Okay, so this is one I want to play around with a little bit more. I tried getting a fast launch here, which I did get a decently fast one, so aiming right down the middle of the tree in the distance. And then turning ordinal towards Sora's domain. But the thing I want to try with this, I want to try not doing a turn just so I can wind bomb a little bit faster, because you'll see getting here too fast, you just have to wait a lot. I got the idea of trying to talk to Sidon just to try to save like a few seconds of my speed food, but it's probably not a good idea. I ended up talking to him twice, and if things load while I'm talking to him, then it'll cost me some time. Right here, equipping the clothes. So plus A, up A, left to A. And that'll give me my Fierce Deity armor and have the Zora's armor equipped. Okay, so leaving out of here. Drop down. Grab the 2 Fleet Lotus to the right. And then activate the shrine. So this will be pretty similar. I wanted to get something that was kind of similar to what I'm going to do in the final. Not sure if there might be a better option here. I would like to maybe see if I can not bounce off the wall, maybe with a square first. See if I can just pull glider a little bit earlier. But yeah, pretty simple here. Just turning 90 degrees to the right. Once again, grabbing the 2 Fleet Lotus to the right as I'm leaving the shrine. And then more text, the memory. Okay, and then right after this, climbing up here. Let's see. Yeah, so my visual cue for this, I'm trying to aim up. I am the left side of the reticle above this here. First one is for height, and then the second one I go for a turn, just because it'll be a little bit faster and I don't necessarily need the extra height. So that was a pretty good example. So clicking through all of this is pretty standard, standard 1 cycle. I did attempt a 0 cycle strat here, where instead of going up the waterfall, I just go around the side. I just stay on side on and shoot all 4 of them from the bottom. But I found that it was like a couple of seconds slower actually, so this seems to be the best way to go about it. Just doing the standard 1 cycle. There is one strat in here that I didn't end up recording for the draft just because it's really difficult, but most of this is going to be pretty much what you'd expect. So I did a shield jump here. It doesn't really matter if I do it or not. It might slow me down a little bit to do it, but that was just so I wouldn't get caught in the water there. So the intention here, use the cryo block, jump over this little part because it'll completely stop your momentum whenever you hit it. So jumping over that, and while I'm mid-jump, swapping to Bomb Rune. I started to do that here, but then I changed my mind because I got tired of trying to grind this segment and spinning the wheel with Magnesis.
You will see. Take Ruta. Be careful.
So immediately pausing, putting it to the second one. And here, instead of making this cryo block, I would just climb up on the one to the right that I've already made to lift up the gate. And I don't have a good visual for it here. I guess I'll use the left side instead. But when I climb on the other cryo block, instead of making this one, what I'm aiming to do is aim towards the right. You can bounce off this part here, and it'll let you land up here without having to make another cryo block like I did in this example. So I closed glider like really early here, but this is fine. Landing on here to do the second wind bomb. And then dropping down. As soon as I drop down, run over here, then swap it to 5. Shoot this, magnesis this. And this turned really slowly for some reason. Sometimes it turns really quickly for me, and other times it's really slow. I'm not sure what I might be doing wrong with it. Okay, so putting it to 4. Swapping to cryo. Activating this one.
Just one.
And this is where I kind of ran into problems. As you see, I got here like really early for the cycle. I'm not sure if there's something I could be doing differently to put this at a better position. So if anyone happens to know, just let me know. I saw that Johnny used Gale here in his world record, which I've considered doing, but I think it may be faster to just save it for later. So I just went with the other strat, just getting rid of the cryo block and doing a shield jump, which I missed it here, but the rest of the dungeon was a good example, so I just kept it. Something I did consider, since I'm having to wait so long anyway, unless I can find a way to fix that, maybe try to set up a skew bounce on the slope, but we'll see. Okay, so cryo block, swap to stasis, and then 8 bomb arrows to finish up water blight. So try to keep in mind that I should make the cryo block a little bit more to the right, so I'm not having to run around it here.
There are 4. Good. You will see. Take Ruta. Be careful. Good. You will see. Take Ruta. Be careful. There are 3. want. You activate. There should be a be careful. You activate. There should be a be careful. Careful, that spear has a long reach. Spear has a long reach.
I don't feel like I need a particular like lineup for this right here. Just because the wind bomb doesn't have to be a great one. You'll see here the one that I got wasn't that good. But turning to the right for this, then just landing up here on the stairs. This one doesn't have to be too good because you have to wait for stuff to load in anyway. And that is it for the Ruta section, and then we get this great cutscene where Link's hat is just completely stuck like that. Alright, so yeah, that's all for the Ruta section. Next we'll be going over to Eldon and doing the stuff for Rudania.